Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast. Today, we're going over our season-long player props, and we are going to be using Underdog for that. Head over to Underdog, guys. Do some season-long player props with us. Also, do some best ball drafts. They got super flex, best ball drafts, all that good stuff. Head over to Underdog. Enter promo code DUDES. They will match you up to $100. And today, I'm joined by Seth, Jordan, and we have a special guest on today's show, Phill. If you want to come check him out on YouTube at TFF Dudes, he is wearing a Guardian helmet, so that's kind of cool. Guardian skull cap, I guess is the right thing. So check us out. Check us out on YouTube at TFF Dudes. Phill, how are you doing, man? You've been how was the Light Festival?
Haters will think it's photoshopped. I think that's what they say, right? What is this light show that you told the people that I went to?
We said you went to a festival of lights in Las Vegas, which is probably true.
I was in Las Vegas. Trent, what are you drinking? Are you drinking like a green smoothie at 10 p.m.?
It is a liquid IV hydration packet. You know, gotta stay hydrated, Phill.
Why does it look like you got it out of your toilet?
Yeah.
This looks nothing like what comes out of my toilet. But
debatable, but okay.
Yeah, why are you drinking that? That looks
like dog water.
I was
Trent, you sat at a desk all day long. Like the farthest you've walked is to the water fountain. What do you need to be hydrated for? Just drink normal water.
Phill, you know how I pride myself in not ever getting sick? Maybe you should do some things I do. When I feel a little sick, I take what is that stuff called? Gatorade.
Celsius.
Just
you drink Celsius?
Celsius. That's what it is.
So what are you drinking?
I said liquid IV. Emergency is what I normally drink. Like
but
if I feel someone sick,
emergency.
I take emergency. No, I'm just doing some liquid IV, electrolytes, hydration booster. Come check it out. It's green. I'm sorry.
I feel like you're always on. Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, hey, props to your hydration. I'm not going to make fun of you for hydrating properly. I don't know where I'm
going to make fun of you for going to a light festival either. But yet here we are.
We are. I'm on the pod.
We're recording this on Monday night. So it's coming on Monday night. It'll release Thursday morning. So we still have no news on Ayuk. We did hear Jahmyr Gibbs did have a hamstring injury, it looks like.
Yeah, hamstring.
So that could boost David Montgomery.
Schefter said today that he thinks Ayuk's going to stay with the Niners.
Okay.
They're going to try to work something out.
And then, Gibbs, that's going to move Montgomery up quite a bit in these drafts. I think.
How much do you think it drops Gibbs, though?
I don't really want to take someone in first. I guess Gibbs is kind of going second round or late first.
Late first, early second.
I don't know if I want to take a running back that's having hamstring problems right now. If I'm drafting today, maybe in 2 weeks when most drafts happen, maybe he's a go and he's good. Maybe it's not as big of a deal now. If I'm drafting today, right now, I don't want anything to do with that. So what's the best bargain you can get on Gibbs? Is it
if he gets to late second, are you taking
late second? I think I would do late second. Yeah.
So the other injury,
but Montgomery's not an easy handcuff, but you might have to reach on him a little bit more.
It's just there's a lot of unknown right now. The other injury is Hollywood. He's potentially out maybe week 1, but he's dropping quite a bit. What I've seen ADP, like he's falling. So I think he's someone that, and I think if he drops far enough, you can kind of just grab him. But like Worthy and Rice's ADP are gonna go up too. So
yeah, they're gonna go up for sure. So
it's crazy how I predicted Xavier Worthy would be just lights out this season. You guys just chirped me the entire time, it looks like that's exactly actually
what we did.
Play the tape. I'm about to go back to the basically April, May.
No, I'm just as big Xavier Worthy fan as anybody. Like I've been hyping him up since I said he's been going to Chiefs to be a perfect fit since like the day he left college. So like
you are a straight up politician. Like that is not in fact what you said at all. Like
that is 100% what I said.
I feel like you are on the campaign trail right now. You were totally not against. You were totally not.
No, you are wrong.
No, absolutely not. I've been a Xavier Worthy truther.
I'm pretty sure Jordan's right.
Shut up, Seth.
Phil's now plagiarizing Jordan's ideas and making them his own. That's where we are today in fantasy
You
football.
talked about you're the worthy truther. I'm the worthy truther, Phill.
No, there's no shot. I was like, I think I picked him up in like the 5th, and you were just like, reach. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I feel like this is going to be.
Seth, how many times did we play Worthy Underdog College props last year?
A lot.
Yeah, but I sniped him in the 5th, and you were chirping me.
That still might be kind of early. I don't. Yeah,
it's still early though. The 5th is early.
I was in a dynasty draft, and Phill took Worthy 2nd overall. Jordan, 2nd overall.
That's a false. That's actually a false narrative.
That is not false at all. Seth.
I'm pretty sure it's true.
Yeah.
Oh
it's true.
yes, you're right. Actually, this draft. Yeah, it is true.
Okay. So
it was a 3-round draft. It's a rookie draft. Okay, basically a rookie draft, and that's what felt to me.
Do you still think that's early, Jordan? Do you still think that's early?
No.
What?
I'm stacked at QB. I'm stacked at QB.
Rookie draft.
2
Phill
QB league.
Xavier Worthy 2 overall. Rookie draft. Super flex.
Yeah,
I'm stacked at QB.
Jayden Daniels. Okay, we'll draft one of them and trade them.
Yeah, that would.
I'm looking for a.
Why didn't you take?
I'm looking for a league winner.
Why didn't you take Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I think Xavier Worthy is going to be a little bit more electric this season. I'm not playing like it's. I'm not playing it.
Marvin got drafted. It goes to Fitz. Marvin got drafted. But yes, I don't know why he did what he did, but yeah, it was.
This is the thing.
Was out there.
I was fueled by nacho cheese, hot dogs, and I don't know what I was doing. I honestly.
It's kind of the story of your life. If you had a book, that would be what it was be titled. I don't know what I was doing. That'd be a great title for your book.
I mean, the real question is here. Seth did take Xavier Worthy over Odunze in a rookie draft, and I think that was an interesting choice by him. But I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we're all worthy guys on this pod, Phil. Don't you want to make yourself be more special than everyone else.
Someone's got to replace Kelsey at some point.
I'm probably you guys were on Worthy in here.
Yeah, you are. Trent is for sure.
Yeah.
I want to see. We need to.
I'm not going to lie like Phill and just start making stuff up. Like, let's be real here.
No, it was pretty bad. Like the flip flop that we have out of these two young fellows is just
pull the tape and we'll go from there. But let's move on.
All right, moving on.
Phill,
are we going to long?
Yeah, let's get in these season-long props. These season-long props, or is there something else you want to say, Phill? I'm thinking we get in these season-long props.
Yeah, no, I think we get in these season-long props. Yeah. We are going over to our good friend at Underdog. Here we have a couple of season-long options here. Kind of starting at the top, we have some QB action here. I'm just going to scroll down and we'll keep talking. Then wide receivers. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's up there. Then we see Joe Burrow. So we just have a variety of really season-long picks that we have to choose from. Is there anything specific that you guys want to talk about?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Or I may have passed him.
Just hit him right there.
You were on there.
Hey. I'm all right, here we go. So Patrick Mahomes, 34.5 passing TDs, 4,360 and a half passing yards. What do you guys think here?
What do you have, Jordan? Because I'm pulling up his, past stats.
I didn't really like. I didn't. Is that Seth's play? Yeah,
it is my play. But go ahead. I want to hear your guys' opinion first.
I didn't really have an opinion on it. So Trent, you can go ahead.
TDs last year was like his worst TD season since like his third year in the league. But he threw 27 TDs last year. The year before he threw 41. 2021 he threw 37. So I just felt like him only throwing 27 last year. What's he at? 34.5. It just still seems a little high. Like if Mahomes throws 35 passing TDs, like I think he should be able to get that. Like I'm leaning more that I would probably do the passing TDs, even though he had a down year last year. I think he should be back on his way up. But is that what you're leaning on, Seth? Is the passing TDs or?
Yeah, no, yards. 34.5. He only went under that twice. So that was 2019, his third year, and then last year. Thinking about how many times people dropped touchdowns this year.
It's a good point, Southerton.
a bunch of players drop touchdowns, like legitimately at least 3.
And
like,
what did he end at last year?
27. So that would have put him at 30, right? And I would say it was a down year offensively for the Chiefs. Granted, they still won the Super Bowl. They're still the best team. But I do think he has more weapons this year. I think it's going to be less of a problem with comes to guys dropping balls. I just think 34 is low. And if he's only went under that twice, do we think Patrick Mahomes is going to be better than he was last year? I think so. I mean, why would he be worse? I think the only way this play flops is if he gets hurt. I feel like this one's easy for me.
And you're a Worthy guy, so he's going to be throwing him some TDs.
Yeah. My only concern is it does feel, and maybe this is a byproduct of their skill positions players last year. It just feels like Mahomes is content to run the ball in with himself or with Pacheco in the red zone more than he has before. And maybe that was a byproduct of him not trusting his receivers. It could be that.
The TDs, I probably lean towards liking the most on Mahomes. Like I said, I don't know if it's passing yards just because it's only been 2 times he hasn't done that. I wish I knew a little bit more about Hollywood Brown's injury and stuff like that. But yeah, this offense, these receivers should be way better with all the drops, And
no, what do we want to go to next year, guys?
Can you go to the top with Jamar Chase? Or Jamar?
Go to
Jamar.
Josh Allen. Okay, Josh
Is Jamar at the top? I thought he was at the top.
No, he's on the bottom. Let's go to Josh Allen, Trent.
Nice. Okay, Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen on rushing yards is what I like Josh Allen on. And you look at his stats here. Josh Allen rushing yards for the season is 498.5 rushing yards. Last season, he ran for 524. 2022, he ran for 776. The year before that, 763. The only time he's ran for under 500 yards was in 2020. He ran for 421 rushing yards. I think he's going to run the ball a little bit more this year without Stephon Diggs. Last year, he ran for 15 rushing touchdowns. So that was a crazy amount of rushing touchdowns. But I think he goes over 500 rushing yards. I think it's pretty easy lock. Granted, he could get hurt. He might be trying to do it a little bit more, maybe play a little bit more hero ball. But I really like Josh Allen's rushing yards props right there. Is it still available, Phill, or no?
What did you have it? You had it at 498.5, right?
Yeah, 498.5.
Yep, that's still available.
Okay. Can
you not see it? Can you not see it on the screen?
Well, our names are above it right now.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, no, you're good. Jordan, what do you think on Allen rushing props? You don't like it just because it's running or what?
No, I think it's okay. It's hard. Like I was even looking at Lamar's rushing props and stuff, and it's just I do think that Allen is gonna run a lot this year. So and he's gonna pass a lot, and that may end up being with a lot of rollouts and scrambling and stuff. So I don't mind it, Trent. I guess is the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Lamar's rushing prop at 770 is crazy.
High, right?
Yes,
he runs. Lot.
No, he does. But this year,
it's a lot of rushing yards for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's worst season was 2018. He ran for 695 rushing yards. His second worst is 764. So he's been over. His third year, he went over 1,000 rushing, but he's definitely not a TD rusher.
And obviously, there's injury concerns with everything, Trent. But quarterbacks, they just sprain an ankle and then it's they just don't run as much, but they're still going to play. It's just one of those things where I don't know. It's hard to trust, but it's probably a good play there. I have a Jamar Chase one, Phill. If you want to pull up.
Let's talk about Chase.
What's the number? I can't. What do
so
you have?
It's 9.5. Yeah, 9.5 receiving TDs, or
the yards number. What do you have? 1310.
1300. Yeah, 1310.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, so I like the over on this. So his rookie year, he went for 1455. Last year 2 years ago, the one where he was hurt a lot of the season, over 1046 in 12 games. And then last year, 1216. But he pretty much did the 1216 without Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow was hurt most of the year. What did he miss? 3, 4, 5 games last year? Burrow? Was it more than that?
Burrow was more than that. He was crippled playing half the game.
Yeah, too. So I think we get a healthy Burrow. One, I think we get a huge bounce back year from Burrow in general, and I think that correlates with Chase. I think he's just going to be the guy, and so I think that I think we get
7
closer
games.
to what. Yeah, so he did that without Burrow for 7 games. So, and he didn't play a game; he missed 1 game. So, and I think Chase might have even been hurt a little bit at times last year, but so I think we get more what his rookie year was. That 1455, I think we get up into the 1,500 yards from Chase this year. So, I obviously there's risk with him getting hurt. There always is with this kind of stuff, but I think the 1310 is just real low. I don't see how if, like I said, with no Burrow for 7 games, he had 12-16. You're telling me with Burrow healthy for all games, he doesn't get 100 more yards? So I feel pretty good about Chase here in this receiving yards prop.
Pick that one a lot. All right, let's let us continue on. And for what it's worth, he ended the season in 2020. What do you think about the touchdown one? That's kind of interesting. He had 7 last year. They think he's going to make up potentially 3 with Burrow. His highest ever is 13. Then it was 9. Then it was 7, Jordan.
It's just hard. The touchdowns for me are just, especially when you start getting to that 7, 8, 9. It's what is it, 9.5 or something like that? What is it?
It's 9.5 for his touchdown prop.
It's just hard, because there's so much more variance with touchdowns, right, than there is with yards. And there's other guys there. Maybe there isn't, honestly. Without Tyler Boyd, you got T. Higgins. They don't really have who's their tight end now there?
Gesicki.
So there's no Joe Mixon. So I don't know. It's probably fine. He probably gets 10 touchdowns. I think I just like the receiving prop more because he can go 150 yards in a game and have not score, right? He can go 200 yards in a game and not score. He's capable of having those 15 catch, 190 yard games. So I don't know.
Gesicki may go crazy though as a tight end this year. Something to watch. Something to keep
I
your
like
eyes
this
on.
Bengals offense. I think there's some value in it too. Their wide receiver 3, it's going to be Jermaine Burton or it's going to be this Andre Iovesis guy. There's some running back value, I think, there too. So
yeah, I was looking for season-long running back there. They don't have anything on Underdog at the moment.
Yeah.
So, what do we got next, Phil, on our list?
Yeah, my screen? Yeah, Trent, you want to? Oh, here, I'll pull this back.
Yeah, just pull it up right there.
I'm blocked.
I got a Ceedee play. If anyone wants
go to Underdog 3.
All right. So we have you want to go to Ceedee? This is the feel-good story. Yeah, this is the feel-good story, and I totally forgot. I'm sorry for interjecting this. Men's and women's basketball both won Olympic gold. Trent, I know you're keeping a close eye on that. Any thoughts? Anything you wanted to say?
I have no thoughts on that other than there's kind of a clip going viral right now. Phil made a basketball shot in his draft video, and he begged me to show this. But apparently what I'm being told is they had a combine at Phil's draft he went to, and you had 10 chances to make a 3-point shot.
I'm hurt. Just for what's worth. Lower back issues. I have a wrist issue.
Wrist issue. And if you come to YouTube, you will see you will see on YouTube that he has a wrist brace on. So
I have a wrist brace
Phil,
on.
You had to make 10. You had 10
in that shot. No. I wasn't in that. I probably would have made at least my second or third shot if I had my wrist brace on.
He's also wearing a Guardian helmet too.
No, Phil.
Yes.
Here's the deal, Phil. You had 10 shots to make a 3-pointer. Then you had to run a 40-yard dash and eat a hot dog.
40-yard dash, hot dog, chug a soda, 3-point shot, 40-yard dash back.
Okay. Here's Phil's shot right here. Here's on shot 10, which doesn't even matter. But Jordan, I don't think you can coach this.
Hey, that's 10. Go! Oh! What do you get?
Look at those hops. Look at that speed. He's wearing his Tolbert jersey, Jordan.
That's what I was saying. What do you think, Jordan?
Like
you proud of that Tolbert jersey?
You like the green?
Cool. That was the best part of the whole video. Because
you don't like the underhand, one-handed underhand bank? Is
before that was 9 regular shots that airball by 5 feet.
Yeah. It
was probably that
him
jersey
running down the hill.
It was probably that jersey. That thing was so ill-fitting, which I appreciate. Like I will rep it to every draft party I go to now. And I think I've probably gained weight since you bought it, but it hugs every one of my curves in the most terrible way possible. Like it is, and it's a straight sweat machine. I didn't wear a shirt underneath. I just went straight.
No,
jersey.
that is a rookie move.
Oh no. Sorry, I wore a tank top. I wore a tank top.
Still a rookie move. Still a rookie move. You have to wear a t-shirt under a jersey.
It was straight sweat. It was just disgusting.
Yeah, tell us more about that when we're not on the pod or when we're not with you. So Jordan, go into your Ceedee Lamb play.
Ceedee Lamb.
Yeah, so I have his yards prop. Is it still? It's hard to see the screen. Is it still 1399.5, almost 1400? So he went for 2 years ago, 1359. And then last year, obviously, he had the huge year with 1749. I mean, I just don't see how you think he has like 350 less yards than last year. I don't see it in a contract year, right? Like looking for an extension. You have the whole. Now, obviously, the wild card here, and maybe this is why it's a little bit low, is we don't know if he's going to play like their first couple games. So I tend to think he does play. And I feel like he's just going to come out like he either is going to be ready to prove like Jerry Jones that he deserves the money, or if he gets the money, he's going to prove that he deserves the money, right? Like, so I think Dak's going to look for him early and often. And I just think the number's too low. Like, I think it should be like closer to 1,500, to be honest. So I think he gets easily up and over 1,500 yards. So I don't know. Maybe this is kind of just, I don't know. Maybe I'm, this is like me being a fish here, like playing the chalk and it's not good chalk, but I don't know. I just like Ceedee here.
Okay. No, the line does seem low, especially when you're talking about contract year and everything going on.
I will say it does concern me that the line is low. It almost feels too low and it feels a little trappy a little bit, but I mean, the guy had 1,700 yards last year. It feels low to the line at 1,400. So it does scare me a little bit.
And the extra game does help, with all this stuff. We're not used to this extra game in the NFL season either that we've had
last year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that started last year. Yeah.
All right, moving on here. I like the breakdown there, Jordy, of Ceedee Lamb. Do we have any Bijan plays here?
You had a Bijan, didn't you?
I got a Bijan.
Yeah, let's hear it, Trent. This is the one. I'm excited about this. You're huge on the Falcons offense this year. Like this might be your favorite offense.
So I'm huge on their offense. I don't have a lot of like stats to prove this of like this, that, or the other. Bijan ran for 976 rushing yards last year. He had 214 attempts. I think both of those go up a little bit. I think the yards for sure goes up. What's his yard rushing prop there? I'm on a different screen.
1,095.5.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one a little bit more. Like not that I'm saying I don't think he gets it. I'm going with the over 7.5 rushing touchdowns because like last year, what, Jordan?
No, I like it. I have it down too.
Yeah. So I got him over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. I think that should be easy for him to do is go over 7.5 because he had 4 last year. He had 4 receiving. And I know you got to get those rushing TDs, but he should very easily he should be able to double what he did last year with more opportunity. I don't even think he got that many red zone carries last year. So I think this is a really good one.
Well, no, Jordan, remember that? Wasn't last year? It was like Algier had like 2 touchdowns, and there was like one. It was like Cardell Patterson or whatever had like another touchdown, and Bijan didn't have one.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be better for him. I think this is a better Bijan season. Like I think it very easily should double. And I don't hate the yards play. I just like the rushing touchdowns play better. Like it wouldn't shock me if he had that by week 6.
Yeah, entirely possible. So I think you slapped the over on that puppy.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of Cordell Patterson, did he get any reps at running back in the Steelers game?
Why, Phil? I don't know.
I feel like he's going to be. He's a 42.
Anyone watching that game was watching for Justin Fields or like George Pickens, and you come out here and bring up Cordero Patterson. Like I am one of the bigger Cordero Patterson fans. So, but no, I did not watch, or hear if Cordero Patterson had carries. So I'm sorry.
Can I also ask you, Jordan? I know you're huge on Justin Fields. Like you think he's like the second best quarterback in the league outside of Trevor Lawrence, but do you like what do you think about his outing, number one? And then number two, like, is he, you were like with Fields in, like Steelers offense all the way, with Russell Wilson, no shot on Steelers offense, but I'm feeling like Russell is going to look better than Justin Fields.
I mean, he just had too many fumbles. I think that kind of kills him. And Tomlin, I think that's kind of stuff that Tomlin doesn't really go for, you know, the fumbles. So we'll see. He did good things. He's dynamic and electric. He just needs to take care of the football.
And
he's probably like, he has a higher ceiling than Russell Wilson, probably, but Russell Wilson's probably safer than him. And Tomlin, I think, is a safe guy. So
he is a safe guy. What about the kickoff? Anyone think anything about the new kickoff? Do you guys see that in the preseason?
I don't know if it's really going to be that much better. Like, he'll be better.
I think if like guys can break a tackle, if they can break a tackle, I think they have a better chance. Like, I feel like it's either going to be like tackle at the 30 every time or a touchdown. Like, there's not going to be like, what we're not going to see is like returns out to like the 50. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna if you break that first line, you're gonna be gone. It's you and the kicker. So it's gonna be harder, I think. Like, it's gonna be easier to score touchdowns, but harder to get past the 30 or the 35, if that makes sense.
Yep. Seth, did you find any thoughts on that hangnail that you're picking there, buddy?
No, but actually, that's a good point. I didn't think of it like that, to be honest. Like, I didn't think, like, it's probably Jordan's probably right. There will probably be more return touchdowns, but there's going to be hardly any guys like getting tackled, you know, past the 35-yard line ever.
Yeah.
What's our next play, Phil?
All right, moving on here, Setherton. I'm going to kick it over to you. What do you want me to go here? You looking at a Caleb Williams prop, Brock Purdy, La Puerta? I know people hate how we say his
Justin
name.
Jefferson, because I know we talked about McCarthy earlier, so we can go.
Oh
back
yeah,
there.
for sure. Let's go to Justin, your boy. Seth, would you say that Justin Jefferson is your favorite player in the league?
No.
Who would you say? I feel like you like Justin Jefferson.
My favorite player in the league right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I really have a favorite player in the league.
But Jefferson would be top 3.
I mean, maybe because I have him in a bunch of fantasy teams, maybe? I don't know.
I feel like you're always gravitating towards Jefferson. All right, what do you like here?
Well, I just like the fact that I think JJ is, I think I agreed more with Jordan on the side of, like, I wasn't sure, but I also saw Jefferson do pretty well with the quarterback they had after Kirk Cousins went down, and he put up good performance. I think he's the kind of guy, regardless of how accurate your quarterback can be, even though I think Kirk Cousins is a pretty good quarterback, I think JJ can get the ball anywhere near Jefferson. We've seen his talent. Like, he'll go get the ball and he'll make plays. And I think the yardage he's at, which is like 1,200 or 1,300 is what it is.
1375 and a half.
1375 and a half. He's only been below that once, and that was last year, and he only played 10 games. So you're telling me he plays 13 games, he doesn't go over that? I think he plays 13 games, he goes over that. You tell me he plays 17 games, he goes over that. I think regardless of who's at quarterback, unless it's Trey Lance, maybe. So I don't know. I don't even think it matters who the quarterback is, if it's JJ McCarthy or Sam Darnold. I think it's easy for me. The touchdowns I don't know about as much. But the yards, I feel like Jefferson has always been safe.
Yeah, his worst TD season was last year with 5. And then his last worst was his rookie year with 7. So he's kind of a little over the board with that. But yeah, yards are safe. He went 7, 10, 8, 5. So he's not like, he gets touchdowns. So the touchdown prop might be a little high. Is it at 9.5? That might be a little high for Jefferson. But I think if he plays the whole season, I think you should think that he can get 9.5 with whoever the quarterback is.
So are you staying, because of Tyreek's numbers being so high, are we staying away from basically any Tyreek play?
I didn't even look at Tyreek. What's his numbers?
Yeah, 9.5 receiving TDs, 1,435.5 receiving TDs, 9.5 receive. Or no, I already said that.
I wouldn't mind the yards. I mean, I don't know. What did he do? I didn't really look at him. He didn't. I don't know why. I just kind of glanced over Tyreek stuff.
I looked at Tyreek. He's 9.5 TDs, 1435.5 receiving yards, and that's all he has are those two.
Yeah, and he's been for 1,700 back to back. Back to back years, 1,700, almost 1,800 receiving yards last year. His receiving props probably fine. Like honestly, like I can't tell you that's a bad. It kind of feels like Lamb, where it just feels a little fishy. Like why is it so low? Because what, it's 1435 is what you said, Trent?
Yeah, 1435.
I mean, it feels low, right? Like it feels low for what he's done the last couple of years.
Maybe because they think Waddle's healthy.
Yeah, maybe Waddle. I think maybe there's a little bit of competition for maybe for targets in the wide receiver 3 spot. I don't know.
Waddle's at 1,500, 5.5 receiving TDs.
I think they don't trust Tua. I think the books don't trust Tua. And it's probably the same with the books don't trust Dak either. Like it's probably the very similar situations with both those guys where like if Tyreek's playing with Mahomes, is that line 1435? If Ceedee's playing with Mahomes, is that line 1399?
Yeah, you can't go like best. Yeah, but you can't go like best QB is kind of hard, like drastic, like.
But I guess what I'm saying is the books don't think that Tua and Dak are okay. Yeah, so tell me if they're playing with. Shoot, I'm trying to think of like.
It's hard to put someone in the same category as Tua. It's hard.
Well, like I'm just trying to think of like, what's the other elite quarterbacks? Like if he's playing with Josh Allen, is his line that low?
I think it's a little higher. I think it's just.
What about Stroud? What about Stroud?
With that, maybe a little lower with the amount of guys that are there.
No, you're just saying if he was.
I'm just correct.
Yeah.
I just think they don't trust. That's the only thing I can think of for where the lines are low, right? Is they just don't trust the quarterback play necessarily.
Yeah,
I think that Waddle's a good play. Waddle's gone over 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league. So 1,000.
I just don't trust that guy, Trent.
I know, and I don't trust him. I don't like drafting him, but he historically has gotten over 1,000 receiving yards every single year. He's at 1,500 receiving yards right now. I think you can go higher on that and feel pretty good about it. What do we got next, Phil?
I was just, thinking of CJ Stroud. I know, Jordy, you don't love the Houston Texans, but I think you respect Stroud. Anything you like here?
You want to show it on the screen, Phil? Sorry.
It's not. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
No.
You hit the button.
Yep. That's my bad.
I got it.
CJ Stroud, 28.5 passing TDs, 4,200.5 passing yards.
Man, it's just like.
I like him on yards, Phil.
You like him on yards, Trent?
I like CJ Stroud on yards. Just looking what he did last year, he threw for that.
I need to look. Yeah,
he missed games last year. So last year he threw for 4,108 yards. I think with the weapons he has and another year under his belt, I think he should be able to throw for 100 more yards than what he did last year, right? With the weapons. So yeah, I do have Stroud as a guy that I have in a play right now on passing yards. He threw for 4,108, and his line is 4,200. 200.
To be honest, I just worry about the sophomore quarterback season a little bit, but I don't know.
Sophomore slump. Okay,
I think it's fine.
All right. What do you got next, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else, Seth? Do you have anyone you want us to jump in here? Trent, Jordan?
I have a couple.
Yeah, I have a few more. If you want to pull up the screen,
go ahead.
You keep. You got Jayden Daniels. Can you pull up Daniels for me, Phil? Or is that Amon-Ra? Is Amon-Ra right there?
Oh, I have Jayden
right here.
Okay, so yeah, his rushing prop is what do you have for the rushing prop?
Sorry, he has 4.5 rushing TDs or 31.
Yeah, okay,
3,150.5 passing. Oh, excuse me.
525.5
rushing yards.
Yeah, I like the rushing touchdowns. I like the 4.5 rushing touchdowns. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I think we'll see him into the 20 quite a bit. He looked good yesterday. And I mean, if you watch this guy in college, like he likes to run, he likes to score touchdowns with his legs. He had 21 rushing touchdowns his last 2 years in college at LSU. And even in his first preseason game, they went a little read option at the goal line. He runs in for himself. So I think 4.5, like, and I think early on, he's going to rely on his legs quite a bit, you know. Sometimes I feel like sometimes you won't trust his arm all the time. And I think we could see just like, you know, how early on Jalen Hurts would just run at the goal line, right? So I think, you know, if he panics, he's just going to take off and go. And so I really like his 4.5 rushing touchdowns here. I think he really relies on his legs in the red zone quite a bit this year. And he's dynamic. He's electric on the ground. So I'm excited for Jay. I just want to be very invested in Jayden Daniels this year as a rookie. And so I think that's a good way to do it with the 4.5 rushing touchdowns.
All right, Trent, what's your next one you want to go over?
All right, my next one I have on my list, I have Jordan Love. Pull up Jordan Love.
You got the passing yards, Trent? Because I kind of like that one too a little bit.
I have Jordan Love. Where is it?
3,950.5 passing yards, or do you have the TDs?
I have TDs. So last year he threw 32 TDs. His line is 29.5. I think if he did that last year, I think he should be able to do that again. So yeah, I didn't dislike the passing yards. I just thought if he threw for 32.5 last year, I think he should be able to do it again this year. So I think you can slap the higher on passing TDs with Jordan Love this season. And Jordan, you think the same thing with passing yards, or you don't like the TDs as much?
No, I like the passing yards. I like the passing yards just a little bit more than the touchdowns.
If you look at Jordan Love's stats though too, like a lot of those passing touchdowns came kind of late in the season. Like he was pretty consistent the whole year. Yeah, he consistent with just passing TDs the whole season. So yeah, I think all these Jordan Love plays, I don't think you can go too wrong with. I have a couple more if you want to go to Jordan. If Seth has some, I think Seth has one more, Phil.
Seth, you got one more? Which one do you want to go with, Seth?
Yep. I'm going to go back to an old faithful one that I've been using. And I know this is a big topic after Kelsey retired, but the tush push touchdowns. The Hurts yards never really interested me, especially after they got Swift. Now they have Barkley. Like Hurts is going to run less his yards are going to be for short yardage runs, and I think touchdowns. Like I think 1-2 yard line, I think the team is still going to opt to do a play that's going to guarantee a touchdown, a 4th and goal, 3rd and goal, short yardage. I think they're going to do that with Hurts. Whereas maybe, they have 3-4 yards to go. They're going to run the ball with Barkley. So I still think Hurts can get that 10.5 touchdowns. It seems like a lot. And granted, we don't have Kelsey, but he hasn't gone under 10 in the last 3 years. So he's had at least 10 the last 3 years, 15 last year. I think he probably finishes around 13. I think again this year is probably a fair number. But yeah, I still think the Eagles can do a tush push without Kelsey. I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I think I would agree there. Him and Saquon Barkley, they might be wearing matching left rings, right? They both could buy a set of earrings. They both just wear them on the left side. We may be seeing that this season. You never know.
I kind of want to argue with that, but you're right, Phil. You don't know. You do not know.
They both have left earrings.
Most people don't care.
Most people don't care, but it is a stat, right? That should be an over-under. Will they wear the same left earring? I say over 1.5 times. Is anyone taking that?
No, I'm not taking.
I don't even know that. Yeah.
You want? How are we going to do that, Phil? Like I don't even know. Like I want to buck
1.5.
I really do.
Under. They have a few pride time games. Okay, Seth's taking the under on a $1 bet. Trent, please go ahead and mark that down.
This is so stupid.
All right.
I feel like Trent's even writing it down.
No, I know. That's the
it.
thing. Sometimes I tell him some that I know he's not going to write down just for content, and then lo and behold, I owe people $50 at the end.
Actually, just scribbled chicken scratch. He wrote Phil's an idiot on the pen.
Be about as interesting as what you just said, Phil.
Writes in pictures. So,
Hyro.
All right.
Are you and Seth both wearing matching Underdog shirts? That's kind of cute. You guys planned that?
They're not
last
the same,
week,
but yeah, we are.
Last week, me and Jordan wore matching Bucky shirts, so Phil had to come on the pod and match Seth. That's cool, guys. Very original. Woo! Yeah, Sadie Hawkins dance in your khaki pants. Okay,
right. Jordan, what are we talking about here?
I gotta give me a St. Brown, please. Amon-Ra, the sun god.
Oh yeah, I like this one.
Come on, St. Brown.
So it's just, I don't know. Like, I guess I feel like trusting these stud wide receivers, you maybe you can go wrong. I just would rather put my money on them. His prop is 1,275.5. He went for 15-15 last year, 1161 the year before, 912. So he's constantly gone up about 200-300 yards every year. His targets have increased every year. His receptions have increased every year. His touchdowns have increased every year. Like, his usage just increasing every year. And to be honest, we don't really need to increase to hit this prop. They get him the ball. They get him involved. He's going to play in a dome game. He's going to play in a dome for like 75% of his games this year. I think that's pretty close to the right number. We looked at that, and he is playing in dome most of his games, right?
Yeah.
Let's get a chunk of them.
The first 10 games was like 8, right? Anyhow, it doesn't matter.
More.
Continue.
Yeah. So like it dome games are good for him. The offense is good for him. I know Laporte is going to be involved. I know Jameson Williams is going to come along, but St. Brown's their guy. And I just trust the receiving so much more with him than I do the touchdowns. I wish they had like receptions props on here, because I think the receptions prop would probably be my favorite at whatever it is, or like a targets prop, honestly, too. But and the thing about Amon-Ra, I don't want to jinx him, he does fight for your money, man. Like, he rarely comes out of games. Like, I haven't watched all of Receiver yet on Netflix, but I'm like on episode 3 or whatever. I need to finish that. But I think there's like an episode where like he basically says like, I'm not missing games, and like he got hurt in a game, went to the locker room and came back in. Like, he fights. He basically says, I'm playing no matter what. If it's possible for me to play, I'm playing. So like, he's a guy who's just going to fight for your money out there, you know? And so that's a guy you want to bet on, right? Like, he's durable. He's going to be out there, and he's Goff's guy. Like, he's Goff's guy. And so I just think the line's too low. So, but
he's a guy.
If I have a play with Jamar Chase receiving yards, Ceedee Lamb receiving yards, Amon-Ra St. Brown receiving yards, and that goes down, I can live with that. You know, I want to put my money on those 3 studs.
Well, and what is it? Amon-Ra, he tore his oblique completely off?
Yeah, and he's still out there playing. I think he missed one game. He missed one game.
That's the guy I kind of like. I like drafting him in first rounds. He never comes to me, but just because like I know he is going to be out there, like unless he's like missing a limb. So that's the thing that you gotta like about Amon-Ra.
That just fired me up.
I'm ready to walk through a brick wall.
I can't wait to.
I can't wait for his wrist brace now.
I might.
It's carpal tunnel brace.
I can't wait to hear Jordan's like nuptial speech as he, if he can say something that great off the cuff about Amon-Ra St. Brown, I can't imagine to hear like just like the things he's going to read off about, the person he's going to spend the rest of his life with, and it better be that good, Jordan.
You set the bar too high, man.
I know.
Just stick to like normal charges. Like, don't do like your own. Just like, hey, just go in the normal one.
Phil's gonna like boo me at my wedding after the speech and be like, that wasn't Amon-Ra St. Brown level good.
Yeah.
Things I will do at your wedding: be next to you because I'll probably be the best man. Catch the garter.
You're married, so I hope you're not catching the garter. Let's just think about this.
Destroy the piñata. I don't know. There's probably like a bunch of other things I could probably list.
Piñata.
We should just do it in my backyard, Jordan. What do you think? If you get married, can we do it in my backyard? That'll save you a ton of money.
Just say yes.
If I
right
gamble
now.
too much money, then it might be in your backyard, Phil.
All right.
Don't tell your significant other though that like, hey, if we get married, my buddy has a sweet backyard. Like, just wait till like the ring's already on her finger. Like, don't lead off with that question, please. Piggyback off of Amon-Ra to Jared Goff, please.
Do it after a high school JV game, Jordan. That would be awesome.
Please piggyback to Jared Goff. Pull up the screen.
All right, sorry.
Seth. All right. Jared Goff. I have Jared Goff at over 26.5 passing TDs. Last year, he threw for 30. The year before, he threw for 29. He's kind of been a little all over the place on passing touchdowns. You know, he had one season where 28, 29, 30, like that's kind of his line. He's at 26.5. I think with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Sam Laporta, I think he very easily can get over 26.5. I think that this team right here, like there's people calling the Detroit Lions like the greatest show on turf light. You know, they're playing all their games on turf. Jared Goff has a ton of weapons. I love Jared Goff play, and I don't know what the David Montgomery play was I did today, but I think with the Gibbs injury, it's probably going to go up. So, Phil, what is Montgomery at right now? His touchdowns might have gone. They might be off. They might have taken that off.
Not even on there. Yeah, it's not on
there.
I
think they took it off. So, yeah, so that's unfortunate. I think with the Gibbs deal, we just don't really know what's going on there. But, yeah, I got Jared Goff, following up on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Any other ones you guys have here? I have a couple.
I have a couple more.
Yeah.
Trent. I don't want to go too long, but I can kind of brush these real quick. Devonta Smith, 6.5 receiving touchdowns. He's went in his 3 years. He's went 5, 7, 7. So the line's a little high. I wish it was 5.5 to be honest, but they're talking about like Devonta Smith like being the best it's ever been. It's a new offensive coordinator, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah,
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, so it's new offensive coordinator. So like they're talking about using him in ways he's never been used before. He looks the best he's ever looked. Really, right? Yeah, like they're talking about using him just creative ways. Like so, like I just really like the noise I'm hearing about Devonta.
That line is good, Jordan. You're right.
Yeah, I think he's primed for a breakout season. So I just like the line. I like betting on him again. Like a really good receiver who I think is undervalued. To be honest, I like him in the redraft stuff where you can get him too. So I think he's just undervalued as a whole.
Even dropping in receptions last year, he ended at the same amount of TDs as he did the year before, 7 and 7, and then he also ended with 1,066 yards. He was, just shy of the amount he had the previous year. Like
it's nice. It's nice that he can kind of break off the big play touchdowns too. Like he can break off the 30, 40 yarders. He can take a slant to the house. And again, I like that they're going to use him in different ways and. The rave reviews, like you don't usually hear about rave reviews for a 4th-year wide receiver in training camp. I mean, do we hear about that very often? Like usually it's rookies or it's like, hey, it's a new receiver, like a new weapon. But we're talking about a 4th-year wide receiver in the same offense with the same quarterbacks. Like it's a little weird to be like all of a sudden, oh, Devonta Smith, who already is a top 20 receiver in the league, dude, the guy looks lights out, looks way different. It's just weird to see that.
People just like him.
I just trust that a little bit more, like, I don't know. But Trent, do you have any more? Let me go through my last one real quick.
Yeah, I have 2 more, but yeah, go through your last one.
Let me get my last one real quick. Then you can go your 2. Xavier Worthy over 750.5 receiving yards. Just kind of already talked about it. There's no stats obviously to back up from last year, but I just think, especially if Hollywood Brown does miss time, I just like this one a lot. I think 750.5 is too low. I personally think he's going to be Mahomes' go-to guy. So after Kelsey. And I think he has the big play ability makes me like this even more just because he can go for the 100-yard game, the big play, the 80-yard touchdown, the chunk plays that really help that yardage total in the long run.
Mm-hmm. All right, Trent, you want to hit us with 1 or 2 more before we get into divas?
Yeah, so the next one I got here is Breece Hall. If you want to pull Breece Hall up, Phil. I had a Kyler Murray play. I don't really like it enough to really go through it. Like the more I looked at it, the harder it was for me to like get really excited about it. So Breece Hall's rushing touchdown total, it's over. It's higher or lower, 7.5 rushing TDs. Last season he had 5 rushing touchdowns. Okay. He only had 1 carry within the 5-yard line, and he had 5 rushing touchdowns. I think with a better offense, he very easily can go over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. He just needs more red zone carries. He hardly even got those last year. Only 1 carry within the 5-yard line. That's 1 more than everyone on this pod. And the guy finished what? RB2 last season. The guy went off. He just needs a little more opportunity to get those touchdowns. I think if Rodgers can stay healthy, this Breece Hall rushing touchdown prop, he should very easily get double-digit touchdowns. 7.5 is kind of high, but I really like him right there. Like he just needs a little bit better opportunity, and he'll get those rushing touchdowns. They'll come.
It sounds like what you're saying is he just needs a non-Zach Wilson.
Just needs non-Zach Wilson is all he needs.
Cool.
I don't know if anyone's like against that, but I have him on one. And then next I have Trey McBride. Phil, if you can pull up Trey McBride. And I was looking at Kyler Murray a little bit. I just couldn't get quite excited enough for Kyler Murray in this whole situation. But Trey McBride is at
800.5 receiving yards. That's the only one.
800.5 receiving yards. Last season, he didn't start the first 4 games, and he had 994 receiving yards. You're going to have Kyler Murray the whole entire season. I know Marvin Harrison's there. I think he should be able to get this still. And where he's getting drafted in drafts, you better hope he gets this. But I think that Trey McBride over 800.5 receiving yards is a slam dunk for him where he's going and how good people really think he is. Some people have this guy rated as tight end number 2, tight end number 3. He's kind of all over the place in rankings, but I think Trey McBride very easily gets over that 800.5 receiving yards. And I kind of was looking at Kyler Murray touchdown props, and he's just too, I know he has the weapons. He's just way too all over the board on seasons he's had with passing TDs. He did have 3 straight seasons of 20 plus passing TDs, and he hasn't gone over 20 since 2021. So he's healthy. He should be able to get that, but I don't remember what his numbers were on the passing TDs. I didn't feel super comfortable. He's at 21.5. I think that's in reach for him, but he just hasn't done it in a while. But with Marvin Harrison Jr. being as good as people say he is, and with Trey McBride being as good as people say he is, I think he should be able to get over 21.5 passing touchdowns. I don't know what you think about Murray, Jordan, or what you think about Trey McBride. Are you worried about Marvin Harrison with Trey McBride or no?
No, I don't mind it.
Yeah, you probably just don't like doing yards play with a tight end, maybe.
No, I wish we had receptions. I think I like the receptions with him more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And maybe they'll come out with those eventually. But
I know we're talking about tight ends. Okay, can I just mark my words? I just want to give you a mark my word one. Brock Bowers 650.5, slapping the over on that one, baby. I think
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think I'm all in on the Brock Bowers. I think he's going to be playing more like a slot receiver. It is going to be straight filth in Las Vegas. I might buy a Bowers jersey. That's how I'm in.
You're a Raiders fan again. I forgot. I will buck bet you that he does not get that, Phil.
Put it down.
All right.
Jordan, you had one more you wanted to go?
No, can I give some college plays out? I've been really invested in the college. Sure. I know we're NFL pod, but it's season long underdog. You can play the college season long over there too. You don't need to pull them up, Phil. I'm just gonna go through a couple real quick.
I have drank about 48 ounces of water. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I got Dylan Gabriel transferring to Oregon from Oklahoma, 3,400.5 passing yards. He threw for 3,600 last year in Oklahoma. He gets in that Oregon offense with Dan Lanning when Bo Nix threw for 4,500 passing yards. Bo Nix threw 4,500 passing yards in that offense. Gabriel's going to fly over that number. Jalen Milroe with the new Kalen DeBoer threw the ball a ton in Washington. He goes to Alabama. I think they'll throw the ball more. His line's 2,600 2635 passing yards. He kind of threw that last year with Nick Saban. I think he gets over 3,000 this year with Kalen DeBoer. And then Luther Burden, receiver from Missouri. It's his third year in the offense with the same quarterback. Brady Cook is a fourth-year quarterback. Our Kirby Moore, the old Fresno State offensive coordinator, is in his second year of the offensive coordinator in Missouri. Burden had 1,400 receiving yards last year. The line's at 1,000. I think that's a good one, too. And then McMillan from Arizona. He's with another returning quarterback in Fifita. McMillan, I think, had like 1,300 receiving yards last year, too. The line's at 1,000, 1,050. So I think those two receivers, like in returning with returning quarterbacks, returning head coaches, like those are good kind of staples. And then my last one I like is Phill Maffa over at Clemson, running back, 975.5 rushing yards. He pretty much did that last year, splitting carries with Will Shipley. I think they both had like 170 carries each. I was looking at it today, and Clemson doesn't really have a defined second running back yet. They're kind of searching for one. So I think Maffa is going to get over 200 rush attempts this year. I think he'll get over 1,000 yards rushing. So I just kind of breezed through those, but I think there's some really good. And to be honest with you guys, I think the college lines are softer than the NFL lines. I think there's not as much data to back it up. Not as much like books, like, Vegas books to kind of go off, the underdog can go off of. And I think like early on, the college lines are softer than the NFL lines. So I think that the numbers seem real soft to me on these college season long plays.
I like it.
With that's our season long player props, guys. Remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Really helps us out. Let's get into some divas here. Phill, you've had a couple. We've kind of slandered your name recently. About being able to lift the barbecue. You don't, and you couldn't lift the barbecue in the back of the car. A lot of people think that's how you got carpal tunnel.
Did you guys tell that? Did you tell the story?
We did tell that story, so you don't need to defend yourself at all. And then the other one is you had something about an airplane you wanted to talk about. So if you want to do that one, you don't need to defend yourself or anything.
No, I don't need to defend myself. It'd
be too hard to do.
It happened.
You don't have enough time.
It happened, and I'm an alpha. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to come after the alpha, and sometimes I just got to put my shoulders back, stand up straight, and make sure the world knows that I'm the alpha. Outside of that, what am I saying here? This is what I'm saying. Diva. All right. So you guys do a little traveling. I know, Jordan, you're a world traveler. Seth, you travel. Trent, you travel periodically. Trent uses someone books his travel though. He's not like a road dog like Jordan, Seth, and me. Anyhow, you do get a lot of divas while traveling, but one of the biggest divas is that people who do not, I repeat, do not work for the airlines, yet insist on trying to act as an airline employee. We were on a flight. I was getting on my flight heading home to Fresno. And there was this gentleman who I think ran into the plane and went and used the bathroom right away. He either ran and used the bathroom or was talking to the assistant.
That's terrible.
There's a variety. You already know that this is that type of person. So the assistant, or the flight attendant rather, was saying, "Hey, don't put your bags right above your seat. They need to go in the compartment ahead of you." This guy was straight up whistling down people left and right, hey, just as a quick heads up, that bags need to go in front of your seat, And people are like looking at this guy like they didn't know if something was wrong with him or if he actually worked for the airline. The thing is that he was wearing like a 3/4 zip where it almost looked like he was wearing for the airline. But then once you looked at his sweatshirt, like for a second longer, you realize he didn't work for the airline. He was directing traffic at the back of the plane for, 2 to 5 minutes. And I cannot tell you, it bothered me so much that this guy was just basically hunting people down, calling people out, and making suggestions on where they should put his bags based on where he heard the flight attendant say. And the flight attendant's like looking at this guy like, who are you? He does not work for the airline. He's not like a passing pilot. Like, he has no invested interest in this. I think he was sitting at the front of the plane, yet he was choosing to help direct everyone at the back. And I don't know like what inspired this gentleman to do that. He was an older guy, but I'm like, what are you doing?
Did he borrow the little short mini half orange lightsaber you borrowed from Seth that you said you needed to help people get on the airplane, or no?
No, he was not. He was just like, I was just like, what is this guy doing? And I felt bad for him because like I feel like that might have been his favorite part of his day potentially, but it was just I mean, honestly, he'd worked more in that 30-minute span than Trent does all day at his desk job. But I will say that he anyhow, it was just annoying.
That is incredibly annoying. I'm surprised no one said anything.
Phil, you got to put your foot down and help people out, man. Maybe the guy
my bags are already up there. No, it was one of those things where my bags are already up. It was not impacting me, but you just watch it and you get slightly annoyed.
It's like an hour flight, and
it's also like an hour flight, right, Phil?
It's like an hour flight, and so
it's
I'm
not
like
you guys flying like to England or to the Europe or something where it's going to be in the plane for 10 hours, and
they don't even bring you drinks on those flights.
You have to pay for your drinks on the flight.
What's the point on an hour flight? It doesn't even matter. Like,
it does not matter. And honestly, I have a face for radio, but I will say that there is something in me where it's just like, I don't know what it looks like, or like if I have a sign pasted on my back with a sticker, whatever it may be, that says, if you sit next to this guy on the flight, talk to him for the entire flight. It is just so difficult. Like, I don't know how I get through life, if I could be completely honest with you. It is.
We all wonder that.
I will have the conversation where it's just like, so how's everything going with your life? It's like, I am just sitting here looking to put my AirPods on, maybe read a book for a couple minutes. I'm not looking to have a conversation. And yet people and they're nice people. Everyone who I talk to is a nice person, but they are just like,
maybe if the books you read weren't like scratch and sniff or pop-up books, people wouldn't be like, hey, let me do a favor and talk to this guy. They see you struggling on page
ABC
3. I heard you reading out loud. You're all tahi. I'm all the. So maybe that's
people think flying on an air flight is like a 2-hour speed dating. Like they just think they can pop on over into your world and
that's me on every single flight.
I that does not surprise me. You are probably talked about, like, I sat next to the most annoying guy on my flight,
people Trent, on airplanes, and I still talk to him to this day. That's a fact.
Yeah, your therapist.
No.
The guy who flies next to you all the time. Yeah, it's your therapist.
Played quarterback in Texas. We started talking about high school football. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and like, hey, follow my son, like he's playing college football. Yeah.
Well, you take an emotional support dog on the flight every time you fly. People are going to tend to gravitate.
You have a T-shirt that says "Cat Mom." So what's the big deal about my support dog on the flight? You are started, man. Yeah. Divas of the week. Seth, you have anything like someone run a yellow light and that made you mad or something? I don't know. Speaking while you're thinking about that, I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm going to say Divas. These are these sandals that Phil asks our opinion on them all the time. Like, hey, would you guys judge me if I wore Tiva sandals? I'm like, do you hike? Do you ride bikes? Do you do anything athletic? No, do not buy Tivas, Phil. Those are for like supreme athletes who think they're better than everyone else. Like, I don't know what the point is.
Who do you know that wears Tivas?
A lot of people. Pretty much everyone I did Young Life with outside of the Kingsburg Young Life wore Tivas.
And they were supreme athletes per your.
They all wore like Patagonia T-shirts. They just think they're better than you, right? Like, oh, you don't have Tivas? You're wearing Old Navy flip-flops? Like, what's the matter with you, man? It's like, yeah, sorry, if I hike up a mountain, I'm probably putting on some hiking boots, not some sandals. So
and that's why you have gout.
It's probably why no, I do not have gout. So many people are telling me like drink cherry juice for gout. It's like, guys, I don't have gout. Like,
no, there's no way people actually think
then I'm like, hey, look at this picture of Phil wearing a brace from carpal tunnel while he's herding cows. So anyways, but yeah, so I don't know, like Tivas, it's just a lame sandal that's like, why do we need an athletic sandal for like, hey, you could run a mile in these sandals. Yeah. Or you can just wear a pair of New Balance and do the trick. You know what I mean? Like, but Phil talks about Tivas all the time. Seth, Jordan, you guys
your
think
Lord
Tivas
and
are cool?
Savior walked around with sandals. So
no, but I really tricked Phil.
Did he run? Did he run in sandals?
There is scripture where Peter ran And you know what? He's probably wearing divas.
Well,
or at
that's
least
not
the
my
birth of
Lord and
divas.
Savior. Peter's not my Lord and Savior. So let's get that, out of the way. Since Phil's just, how much have
David,
you lied on this pod, Phil? Let's just ask ourselves that.
There's a lot of people who you well respect who were athletic in sandals, and they probably could they live in the 2020s. They would say, I would choose divas to herd sheep with while I'm fighting lions. So you know what, Trent? I have a problem with you. If you have a problem with the Bible, sure, go after Shiva.
Yeah, you're right, Phil. You know what I mean? Let's talk about athletic people that you're comparable to. You wear sandals, you look like that hunchback on 300. So go ahead and do that. So Jordan, you got a diva of the week, man.
That is rich coming from you. That is rich coming from you. I will say.
It was like, hey guys, you want to see this goat path? It's like, how do you know about this, man? He's like, oh, it's a secret. It's like, hey, cool story, man. Like, So I don't know where to go with that.
That makes me. It makes me so sick that you're the one saying that. You freak.
Oh yeah. It's like,
right.
why are you hunched over while you're walking, man? It's like, okay. Anyways, yeah. But Jordan, you got
you know what? That guy's still more athletic than you in his Tivas, Trent. You freak.
That guy was not wearing Tivas. Yeah. That guy. Yeah. Yeah.
That was actually pretty. That was actually a pretty.
You kind of look like him with your Guardian skull cap on. I'm not gonna lie.
Again, you write in pictures. I am not taking any flack from you,
Jordan.
Okay, go, Jordan.
You got anything?
Yeah.
Here?
So like school starting, that means like people doing fundraisers and selling things, and nothing. I think it's like nothing is worse than adults who go on Facebook and post, oh, my son, this and this is selling this and this. Please buy their whatever. It's like, okay, one, we don't need 6 people posting on Facebook selling the same exact thing. 2, like, what happened to just go out? The kid goes out and sells it himself. Like the people he knows, his family,
down the street,
door to door, like mom, stop selling the things for like adults who just sell the fundraising for their kids and don't like their kids doing the work. Like diva, like make your kid go down and sell themselves. And honestly, people who buy it without the kid asking them in person or personally is almost just as bad. Like you should wait. Like the people should ask you themselves, like, I don't know. It just bothers me. Maybe that's kind of an old school thing, but like, don't do the work for your kid. Make them do it themselves. Go out and sell door to door. Like text all the people like then go pick it up from their house. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Phil just texts our group text. Does anyone want to buy Girl Scout cookies from his daughter?
Yeah.
So
my kids are not in Girl Scouts. You idiot.
Honestly, Girl Scout.
Although
Girl Scout cookies could be something though, because like I buy Girl Scout cookies when I see them. I never leave.
That is not a shock, believe it or not.
But you ever have them? You're like, man, that was a good cookie. You know what I mean?
Trent just said, I don't really leave the wagon. We usually do.
I don't.
Yeah. Hey, you mind if I bring this wagon back in a week? Anyway, Seth,
I will say soccer's coming up, so I may be hitting you up.
Phil's won't even be fundraiser. That'll just be like, hey, you want to give me $10 so my kid can get a different pair of shin guards or something? I don't know. I
got ahead of it. I got ahead of it this year, and we went and got soccer cleats. And I did forget shin guards, but I will be ordering them off Amazon.
Phil, are you the type of coach that wears like the full gear that the kids wear? Like,
no, but I have seen you in a referee outfit, and Lord help my eyes. Let me. So here's what I will say: people always brag about the Costco hot dog being $1.50, regardless. The Kingsburg Gold Card or Green Card, whatever it is, you can still get buy one get one free Western bacon cheeseburger at Carl's Jr. And that might be the most slept on deal on that entire card. You can go to Carl's Jr. I haven't been to Carl's Jr. in probably 8 years, but those Western bacon cheeseburgers used to absolutely slap. Those things were so good. Jordan, have you been? You're more of a fast food guy than I am. Have you been recently?
I actually don't eat fast food that much, but I haven't been to Carl's Jr. in years. But I bought a gold card today, so I need to hit that deal up.
Yeah.
Was it off someone's mom on Facebook?
It was off Facebook.
Nope.
Seth,
someone canvassed the country. Someone came out to your living.
No, he just texted me, Coach, you want to buy a gold card from me? And I was like, sure.
Yeah. Seth, do you have anything? Seth, do you have to have someone running a yellow light, someone taking too long at a stop sign, someone trying to help you unload your car because it looks like you were struggling? I don't know. Do you have anything?
Someone let their dog use the restroom on your lawn.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
It sounds like you're feeding him something, Trent. Do you know something that fired him up recently?
I know. Like someone wear like striped pink pants at your work, or I don't know. Like,
no.
Okay. Oh no, I don't know.
No, I haven't really had anything that's really been like, oh, that's deep. Like, I haven't had any of those experiences recently. It's kind of weird.
That's the downside of Seth having a job. His life's like stuff doesn't bother him anymore. Like it used to be like, hey man, this guy was, whatever, and he would just be so mad. Now he's just like, yeah, life's good. Like I have no problems. It's like, Seth, I know your life is not that good. Like, look at you, for goodness sakes. So anyways,
like taxes, what are these things?
Yeah. Anyways, well, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We'll see you next time. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
No, I'm exhausted. Just shut this thing down, dude. Like,
all right, okay. Well, and
Trent's
always,
got to put his gout feet up.
Yeah, as always. Take care.
Oh.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.